Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Monday morning trading room. If I can just get someone to confirm that my charts are in sync with yours. I was having a little technical difficulty this morning, and I just want to make sure that my data feed is correct. So the market just opened. We're currently trading around 69.61, give or take. If somebody could just give me a yay or nay on that. Anyone? All right, is my microphone working? Hold on, I should get a sound check. Can somebody confirm that? Okay, good. Thanks, David. All right, well, if you haven't already noticed, we've opened with a huge gap to the downside. Pre-market this morning, as soon as the market opened, it fell almost immediately. And so we have a rather substantial opening gap. A gap like this is always problematic because you don't know whether or not the market's going to try to fill the gap or if it's just going to continue lower from here. Steve, I'm having the exact same problem this morning. That's why I was asking. Steve says, I'm getting a notice that NinjaTrader cannot verify my account and will not connect to my trading account. Am I the only one? That's the exact problem I had this morning. I just shot off an email to find out what's going on. So hopefully I will hear back from them shortly. I don't know what the deal is with that, but NinjaTrader, they're the folks you need to talk to about that. I'm not entirely sure what's going on there either. All right, so I'm just going to give the market here a couple of minutes. Obviously, very, very bearish overtones and undertones probably too. But we're only a couple, 3-4 minutes into the day. And once we get an idea which way they're leaning, if they're going to continue with the downtrend or whether they're going to try to recover a little bit and get into that opening gap, it'll make it a little bit easier to position ourselves. We're getting signals here, of course. The hawk giving a nice little macro pullback / 4 arrow consolidation / first micro macro cross. All those three signals all occurring right there within a minute or so of the open. And you can see there was some pretty decent follow through on that. The Falcon also producing a very, very quick little trend change signal out of the open, about a minute after the open. This also doubling as a late filter entry signal, and good follow through on that one as well. But like I said, if this market is going to set a trend, we should have a chance to get on board. Okay, good to know. Steve says I restarted a few times and now it's working. Yeah, rebooting your NinjaTrader sometimes that's all it needs. Okay, the buyer's pushing back a little. The hawk now into green bars. The Falcon filter also changing over. I would think such a big gap would want to try to fill, but I don't know. We'll see. Okay, well, we'll just sit here with it for a couple of minutes and don't want to dig a hole for myself right out of the gate. All right, well, here comes the number 3 signal now on the Raptor. We're also getting a hard edge bounce here on the Eagle. We're back near the lows. If we take, oh, shoot, took a little too long getting to that. I was going to say, if we take out the lows of the morning, there is a good chance we're going to see a little bit of follow through. And you can see the market just kind of tumbled there really, really quick. Here's a kind of one of those discretionary follow-up signals. Oh dear, they're going to really run on me this morning. Okay, they're now a second push opportunity. You know what? I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to wait a little bit longer here. It's only, shoot, we're not even 10 minutes into the day. So that number 3 signal, decent follow through on that. This, you could interpret it as a variation of a number 2. It's not going to print as a number 2 signal. That would be the counter trend signal. All right, well, things getting a little bit more interesting now. The hawk a little bit more bullish. The falcon trying to get bullish, as is the raptor. The eagle, the only one still fairly bearish. And here we go with a green bar sell. Off of that hard edge. And the sellers keep pushing back. Okay, we're getting another trend change signal now here in the falcon. And on the raptor, looks like a number 3 signal trying to develop a hard, that's a hard edge bounce. Very, very messy though. Okay, well, the programming actually called it a number 1 signal, a cloud crossover. Let's see if we get a second push here. Oh, baby. Is that going to do it for a second push? This, by the way, this is a little bit ambitious here, kind of at the bottom end of today's trading range. I'll leave the order in for now. Here come the sellers. I may try to run this one out. You know, that big surprise there, I know. But with all this volatility, with all this bouncing back and forth, a resumption of the downtrend could very well see the market continue lower. All right, well, we'll see what they'll do here in a moment. If they reject going lower, there's a pretty good chance they're going to try to go higher. All right, so here now our number 3 signal. And are they going to try it? Ooh, they're backing off. Okay, this is a number 2 signal now. Very aggressive. Oh dear, they're going to run on me again up to the long side. Okay, there's my just in case order. Just in case I don't get another chance to put this together. I was hoping I could get on board this number 2 signal, but they're not giving me that chance yet. All right, well, it looks like it's going to be the just in case signal that will fill me. Oh, or not. Wow. Seems like all I have to do to move the market higher is to say that prices will go lower. See, look at that. Come on, get up there. Doing the opposite of whatever it is I'm saying today. All right, we're going to get a cloud crossover here in a moment. That's going to be the number 1 signal. The Hawk working first micro macro cross and looks like it's going to build into maybe a 4 arrow consolidation. The Falcon also working a trend change signal, so we're getting some confluence across the signals. The Eagle, look at that. That's a rather broad trading range, or so it seems. So the Eagle, the only one a little conflicted. Yeah, Mark says I'm adopting a new trading strategy. Do the opposite of Eric. Yeah, just fade Eric's signals. You'll do fine. All right. This now the number 1 signal. There it is. I'm going to leave my order here above this high. It's only a few ticks anyhow. I don't think it's going to make that much difference. In fact, I'm halfway tempted to move it another tick or 2 higher. But they've been so quick this morning, I'm afraid to adjust the trade. All right, here we go. All right, well, let's see what they can do. We're just a little bit here below the low of the morning into the secondary uh, support line, which is going to act as resistance. But if we can get above the 69, 64 half zone, there is a pretty good chance we may make a run, maybe even as high as 7,000. I'm going to get ready here with one of my stop strategies. And since I've eliminated my profit target, I'm going to try to give this trade a little bit more room. All right, well, we rode out the first swing. There we go. Once we get the market a little bit underway, I will move now into my parabolic mode. And hopefully the market's not going to look too far back here. The ATR or the super trend, certainly the chandelier would be a very conservative stop strategy. Oh, come on now. They're flinching a little bit as we get closer toward the high of the morning, the opening high. Ray Burke always used to hate the Globex open. He swore that it was terribly unpredictable around the Globex open. Come on. Nope. Okay, well, that's all right. No worse for wear on that trade. Still got our high probability profit objective. And there was a decent chance it would try to run out. Yeah, Scott says that one wasn't so bad. It was unfortunate that the number 2 signal printed so quickly because we could sort of see it coming, right? The market was trying to head lower, failed, gave us this failure bar. And by the failure, I mean it looks like it's going to go higher. It's not going to go lower anymore. So we get the failure. We get the number 2 signal. This would have actually been a good number 2 signal to try. Unfortunately, it ran out really quick, didn't really give me another chance to get in. But when you see these continuation signals, the number 3 signal, the hard edge bounces, and this will be true for your other tools as well, for your Falcon, for your Hawk, even your Eagle. Whenever you see the market struggling to maintain the current trend, that's the time you want to look at a possible counter trend. And so that's what we were waiting for there. Okay, so now the big question is, are we turning bullish or are we still bearish? The Eagle showing we're still sandwiched in a rather substantial sideways trading range. even though that bullish break was a nice little move higher, it has no follow through. So what's with that? Yeah, look at that. Look at that. We're right back into that trading range now. The Eagle, still hope here with the Eagle and the Raptor. They're back in the hard edge. We're going to anticipate a reaction there, but the Falcon turning bearish, the Hawk turning bearish. So we got ourselves a little bit of a mixed bag here right now. Difficult start to the day. Well, confusing start to the day. Still not clear which way this market might be going. So we'll just wait them out a little bit longer. Okay, well, the Hawk now with a first micro macro cross lower, and the Falcon working a possible trend change signal. So 2 out of the 4 birds already looking a little bit more bearish. What bothers me is the neutrality of the market. If we are in a sideways trading range, we know selling occurs kind of in the top third, top quarter, buying down here, bottom third, bottom quarter. But look at where we are. We're right in the middle. So we can't say the buyers or the sellers are stronger there because, well, it's neutral. It's right in the middle of the trading range. We can always flip a coin, see where that goes. Oops, sorry, there we go. All right, well, I don't know. The market's so darn neutral right now. I suppose we could even entertain a bracket. I think I'm just going to wait wait until I can see which way they're going. Okay, are they going to follow through to the short side? A cloud crossover signal now. The cloud's crossing, kind of getting in sync. There should be a little bit of a pullback. And then if the trend is going to continue, we should get a sell signal here now. First micro macro cross on the hawk. And again, given the sideways nature of the market, I may be more inclined to delay my entry. Now you can see this is a significant delay because my typical scalp target would be here near the lows. So if I took my first micro macro cross on the entry, on the hash mark, I would actually be out of the trade before I even enter where I'm looking to enter on this number here. Okay, there now the first micro macro cross signal. And that's turning into yellow bars. Okay, I'm going to pull my break even a little bit. Get it down here toward these lows. Yeah, that'll work. All right, I'm going to put the break even back toward the low of this bar. I don't like the hesitation. That means that we're seeing some buying come in response to these lows. So if we can finish a little bit lower, then That should. That should get the downtrend to kick in. Scott says I missed a nice late filter entry signal. When was your comment? 6:57. Soon is probably one of these right through here. Yeah, hopefully we're going to see a little bit more follow through on that. Again, I'm a little bit chicken because the way the market has been kind of stuck in this sideways drift. Come on. Don't look back now. Ah, darn it. Oh well, it was worth a try. Once again, you know, had I taken the signal on the hash mark, it would have I would have hit my profit objective, no problem. And it looks like I just caught that little hiccup, and now they're going to try to challenge the lows. All right, well, we'll put that back on the shelf. That big overnight move, I don't know if that scared traders off. Okay, here now another late filter in the Falcon, and throw that in. So the late filter entry signal, and this trend line relatively steep, but the late filter entry signal occurs when the filter goes out of sync, comes back into sync. The trend line itself never changes color. You're going to find the best late filter entry signals are the ones where the trend line goes very, very flat. And typically, we don't want to see too many late filter entry signals in a row. Here we have 3 in a row, but they're so close together, I would actually consider those one great big late filter entry signal. Oh, come on, you sons of bears, where are you? this one could open it up. We're going to challenge the lows of the morning. You can see here on the Raptor. Just broke through the lows of the morning at 69.42 3/4. That could chase a few of the buyers out of the market. I did take profit on target just to be different. And look at that. That's the time the market's going to get some legs. Oh, well. It's a profitable trade. You can't ever be too upset about a profitable trade. Oh, besides, looks like we have a secondary support line right below there, below the low of the morning. Tag that one, and now we're getting a little bit of a pushback again, so maybe just as well. I took my profit when I had it. Well, we are getting a little bit of support coming in. Here is a really quick little test of the extreme. So we may end up producing a number 2 signal. I'm not going to be all that keen on buying just yet. The trend does seem to be down. A nice little hard edge bounce would sure be nice. Here, just your typical trend line touch now on the Falcon. The Hawk back into yellow bars, and the Falcon already changing the trendline color. So, oh, and there's the number 2 signal here on the Raptor. The target for the number 2 signal would be the hard edge of the trading band. Looks like, well, they're fighting it a little bit, but it looks like we're going to reach the hard edge. All right, well, we'll just clear this here for the moment, put it back on the shelf. I thought that was going to be a little bit more interesting. All right, well, the hawk definitely starting to look a little bit more bullish. As is the falcon. And here we're still working this #2 signal on the Raptor. So things looking, like I said, maybe slightly more bullish. We've broke the low of the morning, the low being back here, 69.42 I think it was, but we've had no follow through, which makes you wonder what happened to all the sellers. Okay, well, we're still in wait mode. What I'd like to see is I would like to see another retest of the extreme here. I would like to see the market make one more run at the lows and then come back and give us a #2 signal. That would be a very predictable counter trend signal to try to buy. Right now, this #3 signal that's attempting to develop is very, very close to the lows of the morning, which means there's not a lot of room to profit before we encounter the lows. Another reason I might be more inclined to try to buy it again. We'll stay with it for a little bit. You can see the Falcon's already gotten a lot more bullish. We have a proper trend change signal here on the Falcon, as well as a first micro macro cross on the Hawk. Okay, there's the hard edge sell. There they go. All right, well, this again is going to, oh, that's out of reach. This is going to be my just in case signal. Ah, doggone it, can't do that one either. Great question here from Russell. Russell asks, what do you find more powerful, overnight highs and lows or open market highs and lows? Probably the open market, the day session. The exception might be if there was a pre-market report. That would be about an hour before the market opened. That would be 5:30 my time. The volume tends to increase considerably about an hour before the market open. So whenever you have a lot of market participation, then you can consider those values probably to have some support behind them. Here was a pre-market low. Let's just see. You can see it influenced the market a little bit here. Again here and here. And again here. And held the market here as well. So that was within an hour of the open. And like I said, a lot of times we'll see additional volume come in at that point. But if you're taking a low or a high from the European session, not so much. It's not going to have as much influence just because the volume isn't there. All right, here now that number 2 signal I was talking about. Oh shoot, are they going to run on me again? You know what, why don't I just buy it? This was the number 2 signal that I was looking at right here. And rather than set it up at the highs, I'm just going to buy in. Stops need to go below the lows. It's vital that the market trades above 69.46. That would be these swing highs. So if you want to delay your entry until that point, that would be fine. That's the smarter play, by the way. I'm placing a fair amount of faith in these, in this support zone right here. All right, here we go. They're going to try to push through. There we go. There's 46, 47. Okay, first profit target hit. Okay, I've got my parabolics in play. All right, there. Buyers kicking in a little bit. Come on, let's get some follow through. You know you want to. I'm going to hold my stops here for a moment. No. Come on, parabolics. Oh, darn it. I was hoping we would get a little bit more out of that. All right, well, okay. We had a failure of a green bar sell here on the hawk. So there was an early opportunity to get it in there. We now are working the first micro macro cross higher. The sellers are coming back though. What's with that? All right, well, first micro macro cross, possible trend change signal on the Falcon. Which way are they going to try to lean here? Are they going to try to press higher? I doubt they're going to get into that opening gap. That gap probably will be several weeks before it gets filled. Well, I don't know. It looks to me like, I don't know, are the buyers going to make a run for it? Here comes a little selling. Back into the hard edge. So if we bounce higher from here, we're going to produce a number one signal. That's the cloud crossover signal. We've got a full-on macro pullback now in the hawk. The Falcon out of sync, unfortunately. And now we're into yellow bars and below the hard edge again. So the seller's making a good pushback. everything's gone neutral on us again. Oh, this sideways nonsense is making for some very difficult trading opportunities. And the Falcon trying to get bearish, the Hawk, well, the Hawk actually having something resembling a 4-arrow consolidation. We have 4 signals, but we don't actually have 4 arrows. Everything's gotten really quiet here all of a sudden. Well, this may turn out to be a very, very large test of the extreme in this case being the low. If it fails and heads higher, that could produce another buying opportunity. Right now, the trend is still down, but I don't really have a clear signal to take advantage of. I suppose this signal here on the eagle, that green bar sell, was the only real saleable signal I had. The market really not liking going below the 69.40 zone. And we had the support here on the low this morning, 69.42. And then we bottomed out a little while later, 69.36. Did get as low as 69.35. But the sellers not strong enough to keep it below there. And the buyers really liking that zone as a spot to get back into the market. Oh, spoke too soon. Look at that. Just when you were thinking the sellers had nothing left, they make another push lower. Here we are again, this time below 69.35, and it looks like it woke the buyers up a little bit. Here's a very big first micro macro cross signal. This would be really difficult for me to cover. So there's the signal right there, the first micro macro cross. Ideally, you would cover above that swing high. Less ideal, but acceptable, is to cover above the crest and the macro line. That would certainly get you short. Could be a little bit unnerving for a little while, as, like I mentioned, we're retesting this whole 69.35 zone. Starting to look like the sellers have the market in hand. Wow. That was a quick little move. Guess that first micro macro cross wasn't such a bad signal after all. Okay, a cautious little pushback now. I don't think I'm going to look at a counter trend signal. The sellers seem very, very strong. I've already got a couple, three profitable trades going this morning, so it's going to have to be a fairly juicy setup for me to try to hop on board. But we'll stay with it here. We'll see what happens. Yeah, Scott's asking what was with that huge lump of bars in the hawk. Print 24 bars in 2 seconds. That is, there was either a monster short order going through, or all the buying orders disappeared, and the market fell off to the next price level. It's hard to tell right now. We wouldn't know unless we tried to get into this trade. And if I tried to short the market, let's say I tried to short this signal right here. If I tried to short this market and I got slipped 4 or 5 ticks, well, that would tell me that there was just no buying going on. All the buyers disappeared, so boom, down goes the market. If I got slipped maybe a tick or no slippage at all, that would tell me there was just very, very aggressive selling. The sellers steamrollered the buyers. But typically, we don't like to see those kinds of things. Like, they're fun when you're on the right side of the move. But the downside is it shows a lot of uncertainty in the market, instability, which makes me a little bit leery. Right now, I would be inclined to say the sellers just ran over the buyers. The buyers pulled all their orders, or we hit an area where the buyers had their exit orders. because the market definitely setting up for a longer downtrend type move. All right, getting another retest of the lows here. You can see the Falcon getting ready for a trend change signal. The Hawk trying to stay bullish, although we do have some yellow bars coming in here. And now the Raptor giving us a possible test to the extreme. Oh, now we come back with a with trend signal. Even though the market did not touch the trend line there, you might consider that a trend line touch, in which case this would be a kind of a variation of a number 3 signal. And you could look to take it with trend. And again, this is, really a risky type trade. I'm going to demo it for you, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. Here we are back near the lows of the morning. Can we get below there? Struggling a little with the low of the day. All right, well, it's close enough to break even. I'm going to force the trade to break even. Come on. Just a couple more ticks, you stinkers. Nope. Nope, they weren't ready. Now, that's not to say they're not going to continue lower, but right now, they're just content to flip-flop a little bit. And that's fine with me. Oh, sure. Now they're going to head lower. Well, the sellers definitely got the market under control. for now, I think you're going to be better off looking at shorting opportunities. Although the buyers aren't letting them get very far. You see sellers make a move, the buyers try to come back. Sellers make a move, buyers try to push back. So I think we're going to see a bullish pushback again, but like I said, I'm not going to get too crazy on the buy side. I would like to see perhaps a hard edge bounce. That would make for a very nice shorting opportunity. But in the meantime, might just have to wait a little bit longer. All right, gang, I think we're going to button up shop here for the morning. Yeah, like I said, you're going to be better off, I think, on the short side today. Any pullbacks I would view as selling opportunities. All right, I will see you again tomorrow morning. We'll talk to you then. Bye for now.